All right, good morning. The next tool you're going to be using is the sanding center. Okay, this is also made by Jet. Jet makes most of the tools we have in the shop. But this is what you're going to be doing next. And we're going to be using this 6-inch by 36-inch belt to remove the imperfections that the bandsaw made. So this, although not as aggressive as the saws are, but you have to keep in mind that this whole surface is a cutting surface. Okay, there's little particles on here that the size of those particles determine the grit of the paper, and that all those particles connected to the paper, glued to the paper, will become a cutting surface. So any bit of this can cut you. It won't be an as aggressive cut as it would be with the saws. It'll more like burn the skin off, but it's something we have to take every precaution to keep our hands off the belt. When you get in, I'll have a new one on here for you, but I just want to go through some of the parts. This is your work surface. Your stock's going to sit flat here on the table, in which case you can hold it up next to the belt. I should have a piece ready here. So we'll cut that and we'll do it this way, okay? So here's the parts of it. You have a work surface here that your stock will sit flat against, right? And you're going to ease the stock into the belt as it's turning. It can remove any imperfections on the edges with the grain, against the grain, just nice and flat against the table. Gentle pressure into the belt as it's spinning. You want to keep your stock on the belt at all times. I mean, this piece is just big enough that it fits from corner to corner, or from edge to edge, I should say. So you want to make sure that's going to happen. Otherwise, if you sand off here, you're liable to sand the ridge in this, and then you'll have to sand it again. So sanding center, the belt, obviously, these are adjustment knobs over here. I'll take care of that. And the on and off switch is right here. This one's not red and green. It's yellow and red, but basically you're going to pick that up. It's going to run until you turn it off. Okay, so you can have two hands on the stock at all times. Okay? Got the sanding center. Your piece is going to look similar to this. Hopefully better than this. I cut this so I can show you exactly what may or may not come out of the bandsaw. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to take this machine and we're going to sand it. Now, the trick is we're trying to sand a curved surface on a flat surface. The belt and the platform on here behind this belt is flat. So it's going to be a little tricky. So basically what we're doing is we're giving the eye an illusion. We're not really going to be able to do that. But what we are going to do is make a lot of little tiny flat parts, which is basically what you have right now, so that when you look at it, the eye will be tricked into thinking it is a curve, when in fact it's not, because again, that's flat, then there's no way I can just hold this up there and have it sand curved. I have to prepare myself and I have to do it correctly, otherwise I'll have flat spots. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here inside this little inside corner where the two symmetrical pieces meet, and then I'm going to sand across the belt like this. You won't be able to hear me when this is running, so that's why I'm doing it now. Well, you want to make sure you keep your seat piece on the belt, because if you sand off, you'll sand ridges in it. And you don't want to push too hard, but you do have to apply some pressure to it. And again, both hands are on the stick at all times. You never sand with one hand. You turn it on, it'll run until you turn it off. Okay? And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand the side with the most imperfections first, and then I'll sand this side to match that. And I am going to have to flip the piece over, because the belt, the way the machine works is the belt only comes up to one edge. Over here, I can't sand it because there's a big block of metal there. I can't sand flat surfaces. I can sand the ends, which I will, and I'll do that when I start the demonstration. I'm going to make sure I have my safety glasses on. All right. There they are. They're on. I'm going to roll my sleeves up. I'm going to tuck my strings in so nothing's hanging over the machine, because like anything else, the rotation of this belt is down so that it will force the stock into the table, which is why we have the table. So you're going to rest your stock on the table. You're going to hold two hands, and you're going to keep the stock moving. And again, I'll put in a new belt for you when you get in this week. Okay, so here it is. You won't be able to hear me, so I'm going to turn it on. Dust is going to be flying out because I don't have the vacuum running. But I'm going to show you now that is the side I cut the worst. But I did that on purpose for you. Then I'm going to sand it for you. There we go. I'm going to keep it moving. A little gentle pressure into the belt, keeping it nice and flat. This is now set up at 90 degrees, which is what we want. We can adjust that, but that's what we're looking for now. Okay, here we go. Keep the piece moving. Being careful when I don't sand off the edge, they'll create flat spots. Then sand the very end, I can sand that, make that nice and flat. And again, I just keep the release moving. If you notice, I always start again over here. And without too much time, I've sanded that into a nice smooth arc that I'm looking for. So now what I'll do, and I'm not going to take the time now, but I'll sand this side to match this side so that I'm back into symmetry.